GM, just a quick one before we get going. So, as you know, the Blocmates podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Certainly shouldn't be considered as financial advice. We have absolutely no idea what we're talking about half the time. So, any investment decision you do make should be based on your own research and your understanding of the risks involved. One more thing as well, there's around 50% of people who listen regularly who aren't subscribed yet. So, if you please could just do us a favor and hit the subscribe or the follow button or the like button, helps content grow, helps us grow, helps it reach more people like yourselves, and it mean the world to us as well. So that's the last I'll ask of you. So yeah, let's get to the episode.
GM, and welcome back to the channel here. In this video, we're taking a look at Kujira and we're going to explain what it is and what it does. But what we're going to first start off with is just explaining a little bit of the backstory and the kind of lore behind Kujira here. So Kujira was initially deployed on Terra. So that is, of course, the Luna token that was backing that ecosystem when it blew up. And unfortunately, during that period, a lot of good builders kind of went to zero. And Team Kujira was part of that cohort. They raised quite a substantial amount of funds, but of course, they were mainly held on Terra. And thus, during the blow up, their actual treasury was nuked. And so we have a team of builders who have past history of building out some really cool dApps, have continued to do that now on their own sovereign L1 over on Cosmos. But from that history, we can tell these guys are very resilient characters. And they brought with them also a very resilient community. So I would say the two main attributes to this chain are not only the team themselves, but the community as well. And if you get involved with the Kujira community, they will welcome you with open arms. So as their website states here, Kujira is for everyone, and it's about allowing the little guy to actually be the whale and utilize DeFi products, services, and strategies that sometimes are only available to the elite. The mantra is also around generating sustainable yields and actually allowing you to create yields and having these strategies to give yourself some form of at least passive income, a side hustle, or even a full-time income by utilizing their tools. So it's all about sustainable real yield. And as we'll see later in the video, the fees collected on Kujira are actually distributed to the stakers. And to the right hand side here, you can see non-inflationary. So there are 117 million Kujira tokens. They are all now circulating, and each of them, if you think about it, allows you access to the revenue of this layer one. So you stake Kuji and you receive a diverse range of assets in real yield. Right, so first and foremost, we're going to start off here on the website. And to the right hand side, you can see Connect Wallet. So what wallet do you need here for Cosmos? Well, if you've used recently, maybe Celestia, got involved with the airdrops over there, etc., you would have seen Kepler is a pretty much well-renowned and go-to wallet for Cosmos. And to be honest with you, it's the one that I would at the moment be happy to recommend utilizing. So you'll need Kepler on your Chrome extension, and then you can connect to Kujira. It's very easy to bridge between IBC chains and also to connect via other chains as well. So if you've got any funds on a different network and you want to bridge them in, most bridging providers do connect to the Cosmos. So what we're going to do here is run through each of these dApps. So this is the main interface, and this square button up here allows you to see the menu of different dApps that are available through here. So I know a lot of people aren't actually familiar with the applications and what you can do on Kujira, which is kind of funny. So what we're going to do here is just run through each of these just to give you a bit of a flavor of what they do and how they work. So as you can see from top to bottom, we'll just quickly mention a quick TLDR. So you have ORCA. So this is where you can bid on liquidated collateral. This is Fin. So Fin is the decentralized trading venue. It is a decentralized order book. We have Bo. This is where you can provide liquidity. We have then Ghost, and this is a money market, allowing you to borrow or lend crypto. We have Pilot. This is where you can actually participate in fair launches of new tokens coming to Kujira. Blue is essentially the dashboard. This is where you'll find staking. This is where you'll also find how to mint USK, the native stablecoin of Kujira. Then we have Finder. This is essentially the block explorer. Pod is where you can actually balance your stake across a wide range of validators to ensure fairness. And then we have an ecosystem page we can jump into in a moment, and also Sonar, which we'll come to at the end, and that will tie everything together in the year 2024. This is a big part of the eco. So we'll start here on Fin. This is the decentralized order book for Kujira, bringing together buyers and sellers of assets On the left hand side, you can see all the various pairs on here. There are a lot to go through. You can favorite yours via the star up here, look through the USK. As mentioned, that is the Kujira native stablecoin, or USDC pairs, whatever you fancy. There's also Axelar USDC on here as well, with quite a lot of pairs, as there's different types of USDC on Cosmos. So find the token that you want on the left. In the middle, we have the actual interface for trading. We have a full trading view set up here, where you can add your favorite indicators, draw some chart patterns, all that good stuff, and see the price movements of your favorite assets. On the right hand side, we have the order book, all the sellers in here, and the buy orders down here, and all the recent trades as well. If I just skim down as well, you can see you can do limit orders or market orders if you wish to just ape in. We'll go over the fees on this later in the video, but everything on here has highly competitive rates. So let's go back to the menu panel up here, and we will go to ORCA next. So ORCA was made famous during the Luna run-up due to the fact you could bid on liquidated Luna and B-Luna, which was the bonded form of Luna back in the 2021 run. And this application had a lot of TVL. It facilitated many tens and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of trade. People were buying liquidations via ORCA for Luna en masse during that run. And this was a real standout piece of 2021. So what this allows you to do is actually to buy below market price, because you're buying liquidations. This is typically something that is held back from public exposure. The exchanges do this behind closed doors because there's huge profit margins to be made. So we're going to go to the markets here and just think about this. The ability to bid below the current market price for a token allows you to essentially DCA in or make limit buys below the actual traded price of an asset, which is pretty crazy. So think of it as buying on steroids. Now, if we just go to the markets here, you can see the collateral type. There's also this health factor as well, which is just notifying us right now that there's quite a lot of collateral at risk for QG right now. And the bid denomination is XUSK. XUSK denotes that this is a lent version of USK. So you're actually able to bid with collateral that is earning you interest, which is pretty damn wild. So we're going to jump into this here. You can see all the metrics, TVL, pool size, maximum discount is 30% for almost all of these pools. And we're just going to jump into the market here. So on this main page, you can see the bidding process. These are the premiums people are bidding at. So you can see quite a lot of stacked orders here at 5% discount. So as collateral needs to be liquidated, maybe people are a little bit over their skis on some borrow positions, or maybe they've minted USK, the stable coin, and their collateral is in line to potentially be liquidated here. What you can do is place your bids in here at a percentage discount that you wish to achieve. So of course, the likelihood is the guys at the front of the queue here with 2, 3, 4%, of course, they're going to be filled before anyone else. It's going to run down the line. And so it's highly unlikely the guys down here with these 30% discounts actually get a fill. And you can see from this bar down here, this minus 18% has only been emptied one time, this actual pool here. Whereas you can see this minus 5% here has been emptied 4 times in total. So what you would do, you would come here with your XUSK, so lent out USK tokens, earning you yield, and then you input the amount of premium you wish to bid at, the amount you wish to bid, and then you would click place bid. If you just come down here, you can see some of the previous liquidations that have occurred. So recently this one, 38 Kujira were liquidated, 153 USK were paid, an average price of $4.02. And the market on this date, the 20th of December, did not trade anywhere near there. I think the lowest traded price on the open market was around $4.30. Back to the top here, if you go to analytics, on here you can see the total cumulative collateral by risk ratio. So you can see there's a lot at risk, but way back here, not likely to actually be liquidated, but the liquidation process starts to kick in for these, and there's quite a lot of collateral at risk here at around 80 to 85%. So if there was a sharp decline in the price of Kujira for whatever reason, quite a bit of collateral will become at risk and will slowly start to be liquidated. So that is ORCA. Very intriguing indeed. I've had many fills on here, have been able to buy assets below the current market price and below even sometimes prices that coins have rarely traded to. And what this does, it allows you to then withdraw from ORCA. You pay a small fee, we'll go over the fees at the end. And then you could either hold the tokens if that is part of your buy strategy, or you could just simply go to Fin, the order book, stick them on there or market sell them and make that arbitrage and profit instantaneously. We'll go back to the menu once more and to BO. So BO is for optimizing trading pairs, providing liquidity. So on here, you can provide liquidity for any of the pairs on Kujira. You can get involved and there are some incentives for certain pairs as well. You can also intriguingly add your own incentives to any pool if you so wish. And there's quite a few like kind of friendly whales in the Kujira ecosystem. Sumo is one of them, a guy on socials who does sometimes just incentivize pairs for the sake of it. And to be honest with you, I've never seen that in any other ecosystem, kind of wild. So if you jumped into dashboard, this is where you would see your current positions, but we're gonna go into pools. And these are the LP pools available. Some pretty decent APRs on some of these tokens as well. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit and you can see you can filter this by the 21-day average APR on these pairs. Some of them are printing massive numbers, but if we scroll down a little bit, even some of these stable pairs are printing really nicely. You can see here USDC to USK, two stable assets printing around 17% APR at the moment. So let's just jump in. So on here you can see all the stats, the order book size, the liquidity, the current APR. And then you can see you can provide down here. For those of you interested, the full strategy is also written out there. We click provide and you can see this is where you deposit your two assets in the pairing. And there is a new feature recently added, which is to leverage the position utilizing, you guessed it, another application within Kujira's ecosystem, which is Ghost, the borrow lend market. As it says, borrow the remaining tokens from Ghost in order to LP with more assets than your own. Your borrowed tokens are secured against the total collateral value of the minted LP token. So pretty wild indeed. You can lever up and provide liquidity on leverage for USDC to USK. Of course, you would mind the loan to value ratio and all that good stuff within this. So if you're an experienced DeFi user, maybe you want to add some leverage, but for most people, I would probably warn against that. And then typically you just add a 50-50 position for the two assets, and then you would go and stake that position. So that would require you to stake that LP token that was just created, and then you would start to achieve the APRs up there. But I'm sure you've done this before on different venues, but this is how you do liquidity provision over on BO. So we've gone through three of the main native dApps here on Kujira, built by the Kujira team. The fourth one here is Ghost, the money market. So as it says here, welcome to Kujira's money market. We'll go into lend first. Very simple to do. If you've got collateral you're not putting to work, you can lend it out and let the borrowers lend your collateral. They're probably levering up and other stuff. And so simply say you've got some USK or some wrapped ETH, you would come to the right hand side and click lend, and then select the amount that you wish to actually deposit in here. And then this will spit you out a receipt token, an X token, which denotes the lent version. And that will be accumulating yield for you, and you will have that in your wallets. As we saw earlier with XUSK, you can actually bid on liquidations on ORCA, which is pretty neat indeed. But let's go to borrow. So if you want to do a borrow position, maybe you want to take on some leverage, maybe you just want to realize some dollars, take them out into your bank account without actually selling your directional position in an asset. Simple to do, you would come here, select the deposit collateral. So maybe we're going to use Kujira here, and then the system will let you know based on the max LTV for this collateral how much you can take out on the flip side. So you can borrow in stables, but you can also borrow a diverse range of actual assets on here, but typically people will be doing stable coins. You can see the LTV for Kuji is 50%, so half the value you can take out in USK tokens. And as it states at the bottom, interest rates are dynamic based on demand. There's obviously quite a bit of demand here, as that interest rate is rather high indeed at 42%. So what we can see from those four native dApps we just gone through, liquidations, a trading venue, LPing, and also borrow lend, these are pretty much primitives that you see across a whole DeFi landscape. So just think of Kujira as the DeFi hub of Cosmos. That is how I picture this, and a venue where you can do absolutely anything you can really think of when it comes to DeFi. Now we've just hopped into Blue here, which is the kind of main dashboard for Kujira. From here, you can see a lot of network statistics. On the left-hand side, if you connect your wallet up, you can see your current assets, your profile, that kind of stuff. You can do direct swaps on here. We can go to the IBC bridge, and this is where you can easily move funds between chains. As I mentioned earlier, moving funds between any Cosmos chains is super quick and efficient. And then just further down, we have the mint button. So this is where you can actually mint USK, the stablecoin of Kujira. So it does have its own stablecoin, a bit of an ace up its sleeve. And if we just look at the market cap of USK, this is a good sign of a healthy ecosystem when a lot of people want to mint USK to utilize it within Kujira. And that is the market cap, and it's going up like a hockey stick right about now. Back in February 2023, only around $1 million worth minted, a bit of stagnation around this kind of 2 million points here, but now we're up to over or almost approaching $5 million worth of USK currently minted. So here is where you would do that. You take the collateral. So say you've got some Arbitrum, you go to open position, insert the amount of Arbitrum you wish to deposit. So this is a collateralized debt position stablecoin. So it is over collateralized with assets here. So I'd put down 1,000 Arbitrum worth around $1,400 there. The maximum amount of USK I can mint is $806. As the maximum LTV is 60%. But that would be, as suggested by the red here, kind of towards the danger zone. So you probably want to go quite a bit less, be more conservative, not take on too much leverage, not overexpose yourself, and pick a much safer loan to value ratio. But the fact that this ecosystem has the ability to utilize your own collateral and then take out stable coins against them, you can see how this can be a very powerful, but also on the flip side, dangerous tool that can be utilized. But we know a lot of people love to leave it up in DeFi. Now on the left hand side, we've just clicked on stake, and staking Kujira tokens is well worth doing in my opinion. There are many reasons to do so. Not only are we going to get these sweet staking rewards, but also airdrops as well. More on airdrops in just a moment. We got a bit of news on that as of recent as well. So here we are on the ecosystem page. There is a lot of building going on top of Kujira. So Kujira is the base chain, and these kind of primitives we've just seen that they've built out are now being utilized by others who want to build, utilize them themselves, and just get involved with this DeFi ecosystem. There's also NFTs. We have the likes of Fusion, which is a bit of a OTC desk, if you will. We've got real world assets coming in the form of AQLA down here. And you may have heard of Unstake, one of the recent airdrops that came to Kujira stakers as well. And this is one of the reasons why I'm very bullish on staking Kujira. The reason being, recently Unstake Fi here, they airdropped the whole supply of their token directly to all of those who are staking Kujira proportionally. We've also got a new one just announced called Ticker Quirt. So if you think about the kind of dollar sign, it pretty much says Squirt. Seems to be kind of a gambling venue, and they've announced that they will be airdropping all of their tokens to Kujira stakers in the same way that Unstake Fi did. We've previously had airdrops from Fusion, Plankton, Manta, just to name a few, and these have been very lucrative airdrops to receive, and most of the charts have just gone ticking on up towards the top right hand corner of the chart. You get this kind of early sale pattern where the people who want to realize the free money they've been airdropped sell, but then after that there's no real sell pressure, and as these dApps develop themselves, it's only likely that over time they continue to grow in price and value due to the fact they brought value to the table here for the Kujirans, and they're therefore utilizing their products, their services, and are supporting them. So we've analyzed the native dApps and some of the builders coming to Kujira, the benefits of staking the tokens. But as KP, who is one of the loudest voices and one of the team members at Kujira, states, remember, perps are not out, so perpetual swaps are coming to Kujira in a unique way. There's been quite a few teasers recently on AMAs and podcasts about perps, and I think this will come early in 2024. Not all the dApps are currently integrated into Sonar, the mobile application that will house the DeFi ecosystem of Kujira within it. This is due to come out of beta soon. He also states there's around 10 teams building on top of Kujira right now and likely going to be doing airdrops to the Kuji stakers. Number 5, leverage yield farming, not yet out. This is in kind of soft launch at this moment in time, but it should be spun up for a lot more pairs soon. Currently, we don't have a tier 1 centralized exchange listing, but in the recent podcast that Dove, who is one of the founders, he did mention they are in talks with multiple tier 1 exchanges. So that should come as well in 2024. And with the recent addition of, as it's being called within the tweet here, Nutsack, which is unstake fi, and it's kind of meme name that's being utilized, it actually allows for you to unbond your staking positions instantly, which if you've staked any Cosmos based token, the typical unbonding or unstaking time is between 14 and 21 days. So if you want to get out of your position quickly, you pretty much can't do that in the main, but with unstake fi, they are going to allow for that to occur, and that will tap into Ghost, the borrow lend market. So as these things all start to turn, the flywheel will tick, and it's going to mean more TVL on these applications, more fees being generated, and more revenue to the Kujira stakers. So on screen now, we have the Kujira TVL growth. Let's just go through some stats. Earlier in the year here, around summertime, around $10 to $12 million in TVL. If we reverse back all the way to the start of 2023, just a few $1,000,000. We fast forward now towards the end of the year. We breached recently, we got close to around $100 million. Then recently again, in the last few days, we've breached 100, now ticked up to around $110 million in TVL on this chain. Why is TVL an important metric on here? Because all the fees taken on the Kujira chain find their way back to the Kujira stakers. So there is a positive value accrual mechanism for Kuji stakers, and as TVL grows, the rewards they're going to be receiving will be greater. Other stats here, we have the price, of course, looking pretty bullish. We also have Fin, that is the order book DEX, with the total volumes ticking up to the right-hand side. We have the amount of staked Kuji now sitting at around 56%, and that has gone up quite a bit over the last few months. The amount of USK minted up to the right, number of wallets over 111,000 at this moment. So here are the fees. So the real yield comes back to the stakers via the following. On Fin, the order book DEX, if you are a market maker, you pay 0.075%. So on a $10,000 trade, that is $75 going to the Kuji stakers and Kuji stakers only. If you are a market taker, so that is someone just wanting to ape in or ape out, you pay double the fee, 0.15%. So on a 10 grand trade, $150 goes to the Kuji stakers. On Ghost, there is no fee to lend, but on a borrow, you pay 0.2%. Again, goes to the Kuji stakers. And then ORCA for liquidating collateral. When you withdraw that liquidated collateral that you successfully bidded on, you pay 1.5% in fees in total. And then the LP arm, BO, there are no fees associated with that. So as an ecosystem overview here, say you've got a fat stack of Atom, which is the main token of the Cosmos ecosystem. You could come deploy that into Ghost, lend it out, and earn yourself an APR. On the flip side, you could come deposit it, and against it, borrow a load of stablecoins. Maybe you then want to come to Fin, the DEX, and actually start buying up some altcoins on there because you're thinking they're going to go up. On the flip side, you may take some of your stablecoins and park them as resting bids on ORCA to buy liquidated collateral for over-leveraged apes. Or why not, if you've got the funds available to actually make LPing worthwhile, or you want to lever up, as we've seen leveraged yield farming is coming, well, you could deposit your assets into BO and earn yield on them in that way. So here we have this holistic ecosystem for DeFi that allows anyone to utilize these products to turn a profit within the Kujira ecosystem. So the final thing to mention here is how will this all tie together into the future, and what is Sonar? Well, Sonar is the mobile app currently in beta, but it's available on the Google Play Store, available on iOS in the App Store as well. And they're anticipating a full release sometime early 2024 with all the applications that we just saw enabled within Sonar. So imagine you'd have a DeFi suite in the palm of your hand. Not only that, but of course, this will open up the markets here on Kujira to a much larger global audience. Not everyone has desktop. Mobile is the way forward. And additional to this as well, they've been talking about ways to achieve account abstraction, not having to take down 12 or 24 word seed phrases, but having it all secured through the app without you having to store your words yourself. So I think the team here have shown their competence, they've shown their resilience since the blow up in 2021, and are now building out products and services that a lot of people are going to want to use and that will be very attractive in this bull market. And the fact they've got a mobile app to tie this all together, in my mind, is highly bullish. But that is it from me today. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Let's get the sub count up. Hope you enjoyed this one. See you in the next one. Peace.